Good morning, even afternoon to all my superstars out there. Today we are back with another Madden 26 video, and we have a very interesting one today, as every team is fueled based off their best players. The Bengals have Ja'Marr Chase, the Bills have Josh Allen, Browns have Myles Garrett, Eagles have Lane Johnson. I mean, these are just some of the best players in the league, and they help anchor their team into what they are, and pretty much all these teams are good. Today, though, we're going to see if it changes when we release these players, because we're going to go through every NFL team and release their best player and see how they can bounce back. These people are all going to be in just a pool of players, and they're all going to go to new teams. So we'll start out with our team for the video. The randomly selected team was the Seattle Seahawks. So goodbye Jackson Smith and Jigba. Steelers are going to be without Jalen Ramsey. Texans without Will Anderson. Titans without Jeffrey Simmons. Vikings without Justin Jefferson. Bears without Joe Thuney. Bengals will be without Ja'Marr Chase. Bills will be without Josh Allen. Broncos without the reigning defensive player of the year PS2. Browns without almost sack breaker Myles Garrett. Bucks without star Tristan Wirfs. Cardinals without Trey McBride. Chargers will be without Rashawn Slater. Chiefs without Trent McDuffie. Colts without Jonathan Taylor. Commanders without Laramie Tunsil. Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb. Dolphins without Tyreek Hill. Eagles without Lane Johnson. Falcons without Bijan Robinson. 49ers without George Kittle. Giants without Dexter Lawrence. Jags without Josh Hines Allen. Jets without Breece Hall. Lions without Jahmyr Gibbs. Packers without Micah Parsons, who just got injured. Panthers without Derek Brown. Patriots without Christian Gonzalez. Raiders without Max Crosby. Rams without quarterback Matthew Stafford. Ravens without Derrick Henry. Saints without Demario Davis. And that brings us right back to where we were. So let's go into the NFL and see where all of our great stars go. Just look at this. So many stars released from their original team and put back into the pile. Alright, so with that all behind us, let's simulate into week 1 and see where everybody has gone. Alright, so we are here, and I don't see a lot of changes over here on the right, although... Alright, so let's check out the hauls for these guys, because it actually means they will start the Seahawks, who sadly did not recruit any people at all. Steelers also did not get a single person. Texans where we start getting fun. They got Jonathan Taylor. They also got Rashawn Slater. So they got a two-piece, which is going to make them really good. Also, no injury means Joe Mixon's back. Nobody got picked up for the Titans, who are probably your worst team in the league. Vikings got Christian Gonzalez, which is a really nice addition for them. Bears brought back Joe Thuney. They also got Derrick Henry, which is kind of crazy. Bengals are winning the Super Bowl, by the way. I hope you know that, because along with who they already have, they brought back Ja'Marr Chase. They got Lane Johnson. They have 2 99 overall receivers. Well, 2 people who were 99 overalls. Jefferson is now 98, but they literally brought back the LSU trio. This is not okay. They made the 2019 team. They also got Dexter Lawrence. Like, along with the people that they already have, they kept T. Higgins. Bills brought back Josh Allen, and they got Tyreek Hill as well, which is crazy. Broncos brought back Patrick Surtain. They also signed Derek Brown, Jalen Ramsey, and Bijan Robinson, and Trent McDuffie, and Demario Davis. This is going to be a shootout for whoever has to play these guys. And by that, I mean the Bengals and the Broncos for the AFC chip. As you can already tell here, the Browns made moves. They got Micah Parsons and Max Crosby, all just to replace Myles Garrett. Buccaneers did not get a single person. So they're going to continue to go 7-6. Trey McBride is back, as well as Breece Hall for the Cardinals, which is a nice little 2 additions. Chargers did not get a single person at all. Chiefs also did not pick up anybody, so I guess they're going to stay eliminated. Colts got Myles Garrett and Jahmyr Gibbs, which is crazy. And, oh, they already had Sauce. My bad, I was bugging. But I think it's interesting how they did this, and they still don't have a quarterback. Commanders got Tristan Wirfs, which is actually really nice. He'll help shore up Jaden Daniels. Cowboys did not get anybody at all. Dolphins also did not get a single guy. Eagles did not pick up anybody either, so I guess it's kind of lopsided. Falcons, nobody for them. Nobody for the 49ers, except they did pick up Christian Wilkins off of free agency. Giants got themselves Jeffrey Simmons to replace Sexy Dexy, but nobody else. Jaguars did not pick anybody up. Nobody for the Jets too, which I'm not surprised about, except they now have Nick Chubb. I'm lost, because Matthew Stafford wanted to go home to Detroit, but they still have Jared Goff. So now this quarterback room has a 97 and an 89. I have no clue how this happened, but I guess it did, and I guess that the Lions are going to make a crazy trade because there's now at least 2 teams with awful quarterbacks, because you already have the Browns, also you already have the Saints, so that's 3. Packers got, Josh Hines Allen, which is going to help them. Nobody for the Panthers. Nobody for the Patriots. Jackson Smith and Jigba and CeeDee Lamb both go to Las Vegas. They can make a push. Why are all these great receivers going to the same locations? It's so weird. Nobody for the Rams, but they already had the wide receiver thing going on because their 2 highest players are receivers. I do want to clarify that they have Jimmy Garoppolo throwing them the ball, so it might not be much help. Ravens got Laramie Tunsil. That's a fun one. Saints picked up nobody. And that brings us back to the start. So these are some really interesting looking teams here. I think this season could be crazy, and there are going to be so many awful rosters. All right, so let's head to the end of the season and check out all the stats. All right, so the Eagles were the best team in the league, going 13-4, followed by the Ravens, 49ers, Patriots, Chiefs, Broncos, Lions, Seahawks, Cardinals, Texans, Cowboys, and then Bills and Jaguars and Bucks all made the playoffs in their respective areas. Bucks made the playoffs being under 500. Our bottom teams were the 2-15 Jets, the 3-14 Raiders and Commanders, and the 5-12 Panthers and Vikings. Yeah, Joe Burrow had 5,000 passing yards. I'm not even shocked in the slightest that happened. No shocker here, but Burrow led the league in passing yards with 5,075 yards. He hit the crazy good milestone. Following him is Patrick Mahomes with 4,518 and Michael Penix with 4,292, a big drop-off. Leading in NFL passing touchdowns is Patrick Mahomes with 44, followed by Joe Burrow with 43 and 42 for Michael Penix, so this is really the exclusive club. Leading in interceptions is Bryce Young with 20, followed up by Bo Nix with 18 and 16 between Mac Jones, Baker Mayfield, and Jimmy Garoppolo, so I assume the Rams didn't do that good. Rushing was led by the newcomer Jonathan Taylor on the Texans with almost 1,700. Following him is Saquon Barkley with 1,600 and 1,500 for Bijan Robinson on the Broncos. 19 touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor, 17 for Jahmyr Gibbs, and 15 by Saquon Barkley. Holy, 1,700 receiving yards for Jamar Chase, almost 1,600 for Puka Nacua, and 1,361 for T. Higgins. That is insane that these two are not only on the same team, but they also, it's the wide receiver 3 in T. Higgins. Receiving touchdowns was nasty. 21 Devontae Smith, 20 Rashee Rice, and 17 between T. Higgins and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The worst offensive linemen were Trevor Penning, Charles Cross, Orlando Brown Jr., Rasheed Walker, and Ryan Neasel. And then the bottom, and then the next 5 are Colton Miller, Christian Darrisaw, Broderick Jones, Ika Ekwonu, and then tied between Banks, Hart, Haggard, and Guyton. Your tackle leaders were Jamien Sherwood, Caden Ellis, and Terrell Bernard. TFLs was led by Chris Jones, Micah Parsons, and Byron Young. Sacks, almost breaking the record, is Jonathan Cooper, followed by Brian Burns and TJ Watt. 7 interceptions out of Jair Brown, followed up with AJ Terrell and Marshawn Lattimore, Roquan Smith, Robert Spillane, Diamador Lenore, and Tyke Smith. Deflections were led by Darian Porter, Diamador Lenore, and Trevin Wallace, and AJ Terrell. 4 forced fumbles out of Diamador Lenore, and then 3 out of Levante David, Carlton Davis, Bobby Okereke, Caden Ellis, and Budda Baker. 2 block kicks out of Kobe Turner, and then 1 out of a bunch of other guys. Safeties out of Jared Verse, Greg Rousseau, DeForest Buckner, and Nick Benito. And then touchdowns out of Christian Gonzalez, Xavier Woods, Nate Landman, Xavier McKinney, L'Jarius Sneed, and Jalen Hawkins. Field goal long for the year was Jake Bates and Tyler Bass on 58, so no 60s. Most field goals was Will Reichard, followed by Harrison Mevis and Jake Bates. Most punting yards were Corey Bajorquez, Ryan Wright, and J.K. Scott. Here is the playoff bracket. So the Ravens and Eagles got their byes. In the AFC, it'll be the Patriots versus the Jaguars, the Chiefs versus the Bills, the Texans versus the Broncos. And then in the NFC, it is going to be the Niners versus the Cowboys, the Lions versus the Cardinals, and the Buccaneers versus the Seahawks. And so moving on is going to be the Bills, who beat the Chiefs by 7, the Patriots, who beat the Jags by 2, and the Texans, who beat the Broncos by 4. And the NFC is going to be the Cardinals, who beat the Lions by 4, the 49ers, who beat the Cowboys by 9, and then the Buccaneers, who beat our Seahawks by 2. So our divisional round playoffs is going to be Ravens, Bills, Patriots, Texans, Eagles, Cardinals, and Niners, Bucks. And there were 0 upsets in this, as we have the 1 and 2 seeds on both sides winning. The Ravens beat the Bills by 3, and the Patriots beat the Texans by 21. On the other side, the Eagles beat the Cardinals by 21, and then the 49ers beat the Buccaneers by 11. As these are 4 teams who didn't really acquire much, the Ravens got an offensive lineman, Eagles got nothing, Niners got nothing, I believe, and the Patriots got nothing. And both of the 1 seeds will move on. The Ravens beat the Patriots by 6, and the Eagles beat the 49ers by 11. So the 2 1 seeds will face off in the Super Bowl. So let's see which team can prevail in the Super Bowl. We're just going to go ahead and watch this whole thing. All right, so let's watch the Super Bowl. It's going to start out with an Eagles score. Wow, so the first quarter is all Eagles. The entire first half is all Eagles. Only a 1 possession game. Ravens put up 3. We're in the 4th quarter, and the Eagles start piling it on. The Ravens score, but it is too late. And the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think that they added a single guy, and they're doing this whole thing without, I think, Lane Johnson, their tackle. So that just shows that change may be hard, but if you get through it, then no change is needed. I don't know if that sounded right. I don't like the fact that Jalen Hurts popped up as soon as I said that. I think it's targeted. Before we see all the awards and all that, let's go through each player and just see the stats they put up. So we're going to just do this alphabetically by a team, starting off with Joe Thuney, who only allowed 5 sacks the whole year. As we know, Jamar Chase had 1,742 yards and 13 touchdowns. Josh Allen had 4,200 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. A really good season from him. Patrick Surtain had 78 tackles, a TFL, half a sack, 3 interceptions, and 7 deflections. He also forced a fumble, which is honestly really nice for him. So he had a good season. Myles Garrett only had 36 tackles, but he had 10 TFLs and 11 sacks. He also forced 2 fumbles, which is nice. Tristan Wirfs allowed 9 sacks. Trey McBride picks up 784 yards and 4 touchdowns on his old team. Rashawn Slater allowed 8 sacks. Trent McDuffie had 92 tackles, 3 TFLs, a sack, no interceptions the whole year. He had 9 deflections and a forced fumble. We already know that Jonathan Taylor put up 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns, a 5.8 average. Laramie Tunsil only allowed 4 sacks. Wow, CeeDee Lamb on the Raiders only put up 637 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's disappointing. Tyreek Hill had almost 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns, a successful bounce back with Josh Allen. Lane Johnson allowed 12 sacks. This O-line was awful, and Lane Johnson didn't even help that bad. We already saw Bijan Robinson had 5.7 yards per carry, 1,500 rushing yards, and 14 touchdowns. Maybe the Broncos need a new running back. George Kittle had 536 yards and 8 touchdowns. Dexter Lawrence had 97 tackles, 15 TFLs, 10.5 sacks, a forced fumble. He was electric. He had a block kick. He was electric this year. Josh Hines-Allen had 77 tackles, 16 TFLs, 13 sacks. He was a great, they had a forced fumble. He was a great replacement. Another block kick. He was a really good replacement for Micah Parsons. Breece Hall had almost 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground. He actually had a really good year. Jahmyr Gibbs had almost 1,200 yards as well, except he had 17 touchdowns. He was absolutely incredible. Micah Parsons had 97 tackles, 20 TFLs, 12.5 sacks. Once again, another forced fumble. He had a block kick as well. It seems like all these guys have very similar stats, but they're all great. Micah Parsons was just a better version of him. Derek Brown had 77 tackles, 9 TFLs, 11.5 sacks. He had a pass deflection too, which is actually kind of crazy. He's looking good. Christian Gonzalez had 83 tackles, 0 TFLs or sacks, but he had 4 interceptions and 10 pass deflections, which is really nice. He also had a touchdown. Max Crosby had 64 tackles, 17 TFLs, 12.5 sacks, which is all great, and he had a really good year. So the Lions kept Goff, but they started Stafford, of course. 3,900 yards, 31 touchdowns to 2 picks is a nasty ratio. Derrick Henry put up 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns, which is good. Demario Davis had a great year. He had 126 tackles, also 6 TFLs and 2 sacks. He also had 9 deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and he was really good for an old guy. Jackson Smith-Njigba had 807 yards and 7 touchdowns on the Raiders, who were just a failed experiment with Mac Jones. Jalen Ramsey had 70 tackles, 2 TFLs, a half a sack, and 1 interception, 3 deflections, and a forced fumble. Not a great year from him, but it's definitely not his worst. Will Anderson had 73 tackles, 23 TFLs, 10 sacks. A great season from the young guy. Jeffrey Simmons had 72 tackles, 17 TFLs, and 12 sacks with an extra deflection. He was really good this year. And finally, Justin Jefferson had 1,005 yards and 8 touchdowns. This was an incredible and an insane simulation. Let's just see who our award winners, then we can get out of here. So Jalen Hurts wins Super Bowl MVP. NFL MVP is Joe Burrow. Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel. Offensive Player of the Year is going to be Jonathan Taylor of the Texans. Defensive Player of the Year is Jonathan Cooper. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Travis Hunter. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Abdul Carter. This was an absolutely insane simulation. MVP of the video is pretty obviously going to be Jonathan Taylor. I mean, because he won the award. I feel like it's only fair that way. And I will see you guys next one. Put any comments down as you want to do, good, bad, or in between. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and goodbye.